You can see it.
Okay. Hey, this is Alicia and Michael at the Alicia and Michael Show. And we have two issues we want to focus on today. First issue, the election of President Obama. What that will mean in the next 4 years. What do you think it'll mean, Michael?
If you're a non-profit hospital, you could get laid off.
Non-profit hospital. And what hospitals are typically non-profit?
County, like Texas Children's, mostly children's hospitals.
So basically any hospital that's not a religious hospital, their employees are going to get laid off. Or they could.
Your county hospitals like Baylor, Parkland.
Baylor's a religious hospital though.
It's not-profit.
Oh, okay. So what hospitals is there less of a concern with that? Presbyterian and...
Presbyterian, Medical City, Presby, just about that. If you live in a state that has private hospitals, public care won't even phase them. But if you live in a state that has non-profit hospitals, it will phase them. Because the way Obamacare is set up, it's going to be charged how good care a hospital does. Like if a hospital doesn't do good care, they'll get less money.
Now, I heard this claim recently that with President Obama's national health insurance, she's pretty sure that he'll find some way to get doctors into the hospital, and he has some kind of plan for that. What would be your response to that?
That's sort of stupid. Cause
and naive?
Naive, because there's not enough nurses. Almost a nurse.
And doctors.
There's almost a nurse. And nursing schools, and the doctor. It takes like 2 years to become a doctor. There isn't enough nurses to go around right now.
Not to mention that a lot of doctors aren't going to like the government telling them what they can and cannot prescribe, so they're basically going to be like, well, screw this, I'll just go take my trade somewhere else.
Basically, what they'll do is they'll be two systems. There'll be one for the rich people. There'll be one for the poor people.
You mean like what they have in Canada?
Yes.
So private for the rich people, and then government run for the poor. And I want people to know, in Canada, the poor people often can't afford health care, so they have come to our country to get help in life or death situations. So with this nationwide health care, the way it is set up, where will we run to get life and death health care that we can't afford?
Also, you'll have people like me that have serious I don't have serious issues. You'll have people like me that have serious,
or even more serious issues.
Yeah, you'll have people that have serious issues. You also have people that have trachs, that are pretty bad.
What's trachs?
They have a thing.
They have throat problems, basically.
No, they can't. It's pretty bad. Or people that want the cochlear implants, and they'll only get one cochlear implant. Because the way Medicaid said right now, if you want to get two cochlears, they'll only give you one. Medicaid.
So you can only get one for one ear, and the other one, if you're deaf in both ears, you're basically screwed.
Yes. That's where it's going to be with Obamacare too. Because no hospitals are always the way what I said about taking care of ready to the care. No hospitals are already that way. Any hospital right now, it's not profit. They're already that way. It's basically if the government thinks you did all the care, you get more money.
Now
it's rating how good the care is.
Now that we've covered health insurance, let's cover the economy. How do you think the economy will fare after 4 more years? Do you think it'll get better, stay the same, or get worse?
I think it'll stay the same. Maybe worse.
Okay. And justify to the audience why you think that.
Because for years and years, I'm going to go to. I'm going to do 2 things. For years and years, I'll just tell you this. I'm an ex-hospital employee myself. I used to work for a general hospital for about 4 weeks. It went bad. But for years and years and years, the hospital sector was one of the only sectors it was safe to get a job. Because of Obamacare, it won't be safe anymore.
I just want to mention, I know some of you will be thinking, you only worked there 4 weeks, whoopie-doo. But I also want to mention that in addition to working for pay for 4 weeks, he also did volunteer work in the hospital. How long did you do volunteer work?
3 years.
3 years of volunteer work and a month of paid work. So that's 3 years and a month of work altogether. So, in short, he knows what he's talking about.
Also,
and his mother's a nurse.
Also, truthfully, I'm glad I got fired because there's no way. I've heard rumors going on that people in my apartment could be laid off.
Really? Why would that happen?
I'm not going to say it right now.
Okay. Well, you probably shouldn't have brought it up in that case, but...
They could be meth layoffs.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to be content with that, viewers.
They could be meth layoffs around next year. Not time next year.
I guess we'll just have to see. And you know, it's not just the hospitals that are suffering, though. Other workplaces are also suffering. I mean, even though they found safer ways to work with coal, President Obama is still insisting on shutting them down.
I think
that's going to put people out of jobs. The people that were drilling oil, he put them out of jobs. That's even more jobs. And I couldn't help but notice that he put entirely too much emphasis on government jobs. Going to college and all that is all well and good, and private sector jobs are all well and good, but what about public sector jobs? What about people who can't afford to go to college? You know, we need jobs in all sectors, not just the private sector.
Also, Obama saying the oil, since his term, the oil leases are doubled. Most of the oil leases that have been drilled are on private property. They're on private property.
And
I know that because I have my family has a property on farm and we drill for oil.
Okay, but one kind of occupation that's really suffering is librarian. I know, because I got my master's in library science this past May, and I've been having a lot of trouble finding a job, and many libraries are closing down. Part of the problem is our bad economy, but of course I'll also mention briefly that the other part of it is that people do not value their libraries, and they are believing the lies that people no longer value print resources.
Problem is...
But anyways, because of those kinds of things, that's another occupation that's suffering. Teachers are losing and teachers are being laid off. And
that's private sector.
I didn't know that. But the libraries are considered public sector. But
private.
Well, actually, it depends what library.
It's government. If it's part of the government, it's private.
Well, yeah. City would be private, and school librarian would be private. But the problem is, not all librarians are part of the private sector.
Yeah.
There's public sector too. The academic, also known as the college and university librarians, And then there's librarians and many of the other places. Law librarians, medical librarians, corporate librarians, and all manner of other librarians. Many of them are in the public sector.
Also,
they will be losing their jobs.
Also, not saying that a lot of people, if you really want to keep your job, just quit your job and go part-time for a while. Part-time jobs will be safe. They'll be safe.
Yeah. Or at the very least, what you could do is not complain about your shift or your job and be glad you have a job, because a lot of people are out of work and will do anything to have a job.
And if you're disabled, go part-time.
Yeah.
If you're like me, go part-time.
And when he says like him, he means mildly mentally challenged.
Yeah, go part-time for now. I don't see us doing anything good.
Well, most people in the mentally challenged community only work part-time anyway.
Because they have to, because there's a limit how much we can make.
Yeah.
I think the sectors that will hurt the most will be oil, the nursing field, the doctor's field.
Librarians, all types.
A lot of small businesses will be hurt, because a lot of your companies, like a lot of the big businesses, won't hire because Obama's going to overtax them.
Oh yeah. Well, plus every business is going to be required to pay health insurance benefits, even to their part-time employees.
Small businesses, in a way, don't have to deal with that in a way.
I've heard even small businesses will have to deal with that, and so they'll go out of business because they can't afford it.
The way Obamacare is set up, it's a limited number. If you go over the number of how many employees you have to deal with it.
Okay, well, oh yeah, maybe that's what it was. And so, other thing, and you know, I think this will be worse than the Great Depression. What about you?
I wouldn't be surprised if card check gets passed.
Card check? What's that?
It's a law. It would help more companies be unionized.
Well, moving on. Foreign affairs. What do you think? Is Obama too dadgum soft with terrorists?
Yeah.
Have you noticed he fraternizes an awful lot with Ahmadinejad and other people from terrorist nations?
Yeah, but what you just do is we're not going to do that. If we did that, it would cause a war.
I don't know if we need to nuke all of them because there's innocent civilians, but I do think that for the time to talk peace is long past over, and it's time for action. And I am very, very upset with the way our president is treating Israel. Israel is our ally. You know, I remember something that Pastor John Hagee said on TV. He said, used to be our enemies feared us. Now our enemies mock us, and our friends don't trust us. That's exactly the road we're going down. And what really concerns me is that the Bible says that they who bless Israel, God will bless, and they who curse Israel, God will curse. And if we don't get our butts in gear, we may find ourselves being a cursed nation if we go against Israel.
I think if Obama has to, Obama will cause the world, man. He has to.
And I also noticed that although I am glad that he got Osama bin Laden, the thing is he takes entirely too much credit for it. Really, George Bush is the one who started that war, and to be honest, I'll bet if President Obama had been president during that time, he probably wouldn't have even started the war. he'd probably be acting like a little pansy, just like he is now.
The war wouldn't have started.
Why do you think that?
9/11. The war was started because 9/11. If people would have...
But he would still be trying to talk peace with them, Obama.
I wouldn't.
Somehow I doubt that,
people would have got mad enough, they would have forced a war with the Taliban.
Okay, but even then, President Obama would have probably dragged his feet. I mean, you saw how he dragged his feet after what happened in Libya.
Yeah.
But you know, President Bush, he spoke right out against that crap.
I think the war should start before 9/11.
I do too. But you know, it didn't.
The coal.
Huh?
With the USS Cole.
U.S. Cole?
There was a ship. It was attacked before 9/11. It was called the USS Cole. It was attacked by the same group that did on 9/11. Same organization.
And it was during the presidency of Bill Clinton, correct?
Yes.
Oh yeah, but there were a lot less people killed, so they didn't think it was a big deal.
There was a lot more killed. There was a lot killed too.
Whoa!
It was a Navy ship. It was a Navy.
Well, the citizens must not have known, or they'd have protested.
They did. It's just Clinton. All he thought to do was send cruise missiles after them, and cruise missiles sucked. Cruise missiles didn't do anything. So.
Well, anyways, back to what we were talking about. I'm just concerned that our nation is starting to look like a nation of pansies to our enemies and like a bunch of dishonest crooks to our allies, like Israel. And I love the United States of America and always will, but, you know, when we have leadership that's not standing strong, the citizens need to start speaking up. And I hate to say this, but the majority of citizens in the Electoral College voted Obama into office, and you know, whatever happens to our nation, as much as I love our nation, we voted him in, so we're going to get what we deserve.
I think what's possibly going to happen is we're going to become like Greece.
Yeah. And let's mention Greece. Greece has a 25% unemployment rate. For many years, there was government-funded, government handouts, and now people these days can't find work because they don't know how to work, much less appreciate the value of it. And that is where we are headed.
That's not what I mean.
Then what do you mean?
I think what will happen is we'll cut back. 2016, public will take over and they'll cut back, and all the young kids will do what the young kids in Greece are doing right now.
What?
They'll become anarchists.
Oh.
You don't know. Greece is already cutting back right now.
Greece is having a lot of problems.
They're cutting back right now. And all the young kids are having anarchy right now. They've been throwing stuff out. They've been throwing stuff.
At who? The government figures?
Yes.
Wow. Are there any other issues you think we need to cover?
No.
Well, that's it for this segment on President Obama and what we think it'll mean in the next 4 years. Talk to y'all later. God bless. Bye-bye now.